Howdy and welcome to the Confidence Through Health podcast. I'm Jerry Snyder. As an elite level athlete, owner of All In Health and Wellness, and author of the book Confidence Through Health, my goal is to help you achieve your goals and dreams using health as the conduit to get there. I want to say thank you to Social Media Cowboys for sponsoring this week's episode of the Confidence Through Health podcast. If you need help with a website, if you need social media needs for your business, if you need help with AdWords, SEO, all those things that you know you should be doing but you are too busy to do or you're too confused about, they are the experts that you need in your corner. If you're interested in launching a podcast such as mine, they help me edit my podcast and do a fantastic job making sure that all of the technical side of it is handled and we launch a nice, neat, edited podcast episode each week. So I want to thank Social Media Cowboys for their continued sponsorship of the Confidence Through Health podcast. You can find them at socialmediacowboys.com, or you can find them as well with other sponsors at confidencethroughhealth.com. Welcome back to the Confidence Through Health podcast. It's your host, Jerry Snyder. And first off, I want to apologize for being sort of absent for 7 or so weeks, almost 2 months. And you know, when I started this podcast, my goal was to do a weekly every week. Sometimes your goals get, sidetracked. Sometimes things get in the way of what you want to accomplish and something has to give, right? And so for me, one of the things that I do is also I coach for a high school track team, and it just got busy and it got a little bit too busy with everything else I've got going on. And when track season started, something had to give, and it couldn't be track for those kids. And so the podcast took, a little hiatus, but we're back. Track season's over. We had a very successful season, but that's not what we're here to talk about. What we're here to talk about is health and how your health can be improved, how you can get confidence through that, how you can improve your life, the lives of those around you, simply by improving your own health. And so one of the things that actually ties in with that is a common thing I hear from people is that there's no time to work on my health, or I get distracted, or I forget to do my exercises, or there's just too many things. And so meal prepping or having time to cook a truly healthy dinner gets pushed to the side, and, stop and get fast food or something that's not healthy for you, or not eat at all, which may or may not be healthy for you, depending on where you are in life and what's going on in your body at that moment. So the distraction factor is big when it comes to your health. Because most people in the Western, that live in a Western lifestyle. So you've got your electronics that are pulling you in every direction. You've got work that is, driving you like crazy sometimes. And no longer is it a 40-hour work week for those of us in the United States, because of the technology of your phone, because of the technology of computers, of tablets, that you're not away from work for the vast majority of us. Your work stays with you all the time. And so there's that distraction. There's the distraction of, family. That's a good distraction. Okay. But it's a distraction to your health. There's a distraction of, pets, of hobbies, of friends, of, extended family members that want to see your family, that all of these things are distractions that come into play with your health. The key thing to remember is if you don't take care of your health, you're not going to be able to do those distractions for very long. And maybe not days or weeks, but definitely into the years. The more that you disregard your health on a daily basis, the less likely you're going to be around years down the road when your kids really want you around. If you have little kids at home, like I do, we have a 10-year-old and 11-year-old, and it's very important for me to be around right now. But it's also, I know this because I have friends that say this. I experience myself, I have 0 living grandparents. My wife still has 2. Both her grandmothers are still alive. But I have 0 living grandparents. And while my parents are still alive, my grandparents had a huge influence on my life. And for them not to be around, none of the 4 of my grandparents got to meet either one of my kids. And while you might say, well, very few people actually get to meet their great grandkids, but that's not necessarily the way it should be. Because if we take care of our health, we should be around long enough to see your great grandkids. My wife's grandmother just turned 97, I think, this spring. And so she has the opportunity, because of the way things have played out in the family tree, not through our family, but through my brother-in-law's family. She has the opportunity to potentially meet her great grandkid. They're not pregnant yet, but her great grandson is married, and they could potentially have a child. And so that's what we call, completely unheard of, great grandkids, and to be a great grandparent. But that's what we should all be striving for, is living a life where we live long, we have longevity, we experience more things, we're there for more people. But that all happens today. That doesn't happen, I'm almost 47. That doesn't happen 50 years from now. When I'm 97, I all of a sudden go, now I need to take care of my health because I'm 97 and I want to be around. I have to do it today. And if you haven't started, that's okay, because you can reverse pretty much anything that's going on in your body on a negative side of things. You can reverse it and have it be a positive health outcome if you do it properly, and if you know what to do, when to do it, and make the commitment. The biggest piece is making the commitment for it to be a lifestyle. It's not about, I'm going to try this for 30 days and get my health right and then go back to what I was doing that made me unhealthy. That doesn't work. It's not about, I'm going to get in shape for the next 90 days because spring's coming or summer's coming and I'm going to the beach. And so in 90 days, I have a friend told me this the other day. Hey, can you help me? Because I'm going to the beach, like in the Caribbean, like in 2.5 months. And you think you could help me get a 6-pack by then? Because I've never had a 6-pack and I would love to have one. And, he's probably 30 pounds overweight. And so I'm looking at him going, 2.5 months? It's going to be hard for you to change the lifestyle that you've lived for the last, and he was an athlete in high school. And so, I'm not going to say it's a 40 plus year lifestyle, but it's definitely a 10 to 15 year lifestyle that he's going to change in 2.5 months, and also see the benefits of that change in his body in 2.5 months. That's hard to do. Can it be done? Absolutely, it can be done. How is it done? Commitment and understanding that your health is the most important thing. Your health is the most important thing. If you do not have your health, you have nothing, because you're not here. Or you're not, if you could be completely unhealthy, still be here, but you're not getting anything done. You're not accomplishing what you want to accomplish. You're not accomplishing what you could possibly accomplish. And so it becomes You're just here. And I'll challenge you that being just here versus being here and accomplishing things and having fun accomplishing things and seeing your life be fruitful in some way by impacting others, that's far better. It's far better than just being here just because you weren't unhealthy enough yet to pass on. Is that tough to talk about? Sure it is. I heard somebody say the other day that this is somebody that travels all over the world and said that for some reason, people in America don't like to talk about mortality, but other places, they talk about it, especially places that have longevity, the blue zones, places that have longer life spans than in the US. They talk about it. Here, and even my wife, if I start talking about, when I pass on, if you're still here, this is what you do. Oh, no, don't talk about it. Don't talk about that. I don't want to talk about you not being here. I don't want to talk about it. And I'm like, but there's two constants in life. You're going to die is one of them. And so that's going to happen. It's going to happen. You're going to die. It may not be today. It may not be this year. It may not be in the next 50 years. But nobody has not died. So the key thing to remember is that you're actually fighting a battle against an already assumed or an already concluded, it's already concluded. It's already defined the definition of what the end of your life is going to be. It's death. So you're fighting a battle every day to stay alive. How good do you fight that battle? You need to fight that battle in a way that you're looking at the longevity of things and not just day in, day out, day in, day out, day in, day out, let everything else take over. And so take inventory of your life. I talk about that in my book, No More Sugarcoating. Take an inventory of your life. What are you actually doing every day? And then look at it and say, are the things that I'm doing, the things that I spend my time on, and you can do this for money, you can do this for others, but the things that I spend my time on, what is that accomplishing towards the goals that I have for my life? Is that even on the same path as what I say my goals are? Whether you say what your goals are and they actually are your goals, which is a whole nother piece of my book of actually figuring out what do you want to accomplish? What do you want to make an impact? Or how do you want to make an impact? What do you want to accomplish? What do you want to see as fruit of your life? So that when you leave this earth, which we all will, when we leave this earth, will you be remembered as having done something? And I'm not talking about necessarily world leader or, world famous, having done something, Mother Teresa style, but more, did you just come and go? Or did you do something and leave a mark in a positive way that is going to impact and help other people get to their result faster, get over obstacles faster, learn from the mistakes that you made? Like, is there something out there that you can do, that you want to do, that will help improve those other people? So doing an inventory of where you spend your time and is that in the right place? And that's an answer only you can come up with. It's not an answer for anybody else to come up with. Myself or other people or your loved ones, your mentors, your coaches, whoever, they can help guide you into, I don't think that matches with what your goal is. You spend your time on this. That doesn't match up with what your goals are. Doesn't look like it to me. Can you explain it to me? If you can explain it, it makes sense. Okay, fine, great. But too many of us are lingering in this doldrum of just continuing on and on and on and on and on and not doing anything. And you wake up one day going, how did I get here? You're overweight. You're on medication. You're going to far too many doctor's visits than what you should be doing. You don't like your job. You're stressed all the time. You don't sleep well. And you're sitting there going, this is not what I want. How do I change? The way to change is you have to figure out where you're spending your time and where you need to make changes to that, that time that you have. We all have the same amount of time. Some people are super happy. Some people are not. And while happiness may be, an ideal that could be hard for people to say, that's what I want to get, that's what I want to achieve. I think it's important to know that happiness is different. Everybody defines it differently. And so I can't achieve happiness by trying to achieve what my neighbor wants in their life, because my neighbor wants something different than what I want. So I can't achieve happiness by pursuing what they want and trying to imitate what they have and trying to imitate the life they live. That's not going to make me happy. But if I do something that helps my neighbor achieve their goals, most of the time that's going to make me happy, or you happy, or whoever is doing that, whoever is helping someone else, vast majority of the time, that's going to make you happy. And so it's not about seeking happiness from a standpoint of like, it's my happiness or nobody else's. We can all be happy together if we're helping each other and using our talents and using the purposes and the goals that we have for the better good, for the good of everybody. So it's key, though, to go back to the beginning. Cut the distractions out. Know what you need to do to make your health better. Those things are simple. Okay? They're simple. But the first step is you have to know what's going on. Where are your mistakes at? Where are your obstacles at? Where are your distractions at? And so do an inventory. Take the time. Do it on pen and paper. Because if you try to do it on your laptop, you try to do it on your tablet, you try to do it on your phone and take notes, you're going to get ding, ding, ding notifications, and you're going to get distracted from the project that you're trying to do to figure out what your distractions are. So, quiet place, no television, no kids, no spouse, no pets, no phone. You're like Gilligan's Island, like you're out there in the middle of nowhere with nothing. And take the time to do a true inventory of your life and figure out where you're spending your time. Where does my time go? Especially if you get to the end of your day and you are like, oh, I didn't get those 5 things done. And, I just ran out of time. And where did the time go? What did I do today? Did I accomplish anything? Any of those statements that come out, you need to do an inventory on what's going on in your life. What are the things that are happening? If that happens one day every now and then, 1 day a month, 2 days a month, that's fine, because distractions sometimes are huge and they're going to get in the way. And sometimes they're unavoidable. Okay? Like when you're driving down the road and you have a flat tire, that's a distraction to your day. It's unavoidable in that moment. Once the tire goes flat, it's unavoidable. You have a distraction in your day. How you handle that then is how the rest of your day goes. But those are the big, unexpected big things that don't happen on a regular basis. They're not your phone going ding, message, ding, message, ding, message. That's a distraction that you can take care of and you can plan around and say, I'm only answering messages from this time to this time. And does it seem hard and difficult to do that? Absolutely. Do you think your friends are going to get upset with you if you don't answer their messages right away? Probably not. Probably not. Because what's going to happen is that they're going to realize that you're busy. You've got other things that you're doing. You've prioritized your life. And as long as you always get back to them, they're going to be satisfied. So every time the phone rings or the notification goes off, it's not that's not a signal to stop everything you're doing, and that becomes now first priority. If this goes off, this is not first priority. It's first priority if certain people call me. It's first priority if certain notifications go off. Sometimes it's first priority. Most of the time it's not. But we're backwards in how we've built our understanding of how our life is supposed to go. And we're no longer doing a first priority of ourselves and our health. So the quickest way to find that, again, do your inventory of where you spend your time. Account for every single minute of every day. Even if you got to take a piece of paper with you throughout the day and jot down exactly what happens every 15 minutes. I did this and this and this. I did this and this and this. Oh, I checked Facebook and Instagram and I watched a couple TikToks. Oh, I spent 20 minutes on YouTube. Oh, I watched Netflix and then I went through the next and there's the next and there's the next. I wound up watching 4 episodes of that show. Those are the things that are going to help you define the opportunities in your life to change for the positive. One of the funniest things is I've had somebody do this and they were like telling me that they didn't have time to cook. They tell me, yeah, I can't be healthy because I don't have time for this, don't have time for that, don't have time for this. And I was like, okay, well, first off, do this little exercise and it comes out like, okay, well, I spent 25 minutes leaving my house, going to the fast food restaurant, sitting in the drive-thru behind other people, getting my food, driving home. That took 25 minutes. Then I ate. You know how many meals you can make in 25 minutes? You know how many healthy meals you can make in 25 minutes or less? So it was like, you don't have a time problem when it comes to cooking. You don't have a time problem when it comes to there's not enough. What you have is a pattern and a habit of going to get fast food. And so doing this inventory will give you an idea and give you a blueprint of where to cut things out, where the distractions are, where sort of maybe the bad habits are that you think are shortcuts in your life, but they're actually not. They're actually being destructive to what you want to accomplish long term. So these healthy choices there are plenty of healthy choices out there. It's not you have to do it this way and that's it. There's plenty of healthy choices out there. There's plenty of ways to exercise. There's plenty of ways to eat that are healthy. There's plenty of ways to get your meals prepped. There's plenty of ways to go about your day and relieve stress. So It's not a you have to do it this way and that's it scenario. Because just like there's all those different ways to be healthy, there's so many different ways to be happy. And nobody can tell you how to be happy. That's on you. And being healthy is on you. As a health coach, I can give you all the information you need. I can do a tailored plan for you and create all this great stuff. But you have to implement it. You have to actually do it. You have to avoid the candy bar. You have to not have the ice cream if it's not on the plan. You have to actually go out and buy the fresh fruit. And so there's a big piece of this whole thing that comes back to you. And it's important to take the steps to know where your faults are. We all have faults. I've got faults. We all have faults. If you don't know where those faults are, if you've not done an inventory to figure out where your distractions are, where your faults are, where all these things are, if you don't know what they are, you can't address them properly. You're not going to be successful getting them out of your life if you don't even know they're in your life. So take the time to do the inventory. Take the time to address those distractions, those negative things that are holding you back from your potential. And I fully believe, I 100% fully believe we all have the potential to be more than what we are. Even if you're somebody out there who is having huge successes by not by what the world defines, but by what you define. You could be listening to this going, but I'm hugely successful. I'm so happy. It's amazing. I'm doing so many great things. And I'm making the impact that I want to make. I would challenge you to say, can you go bigger? Is there more? If you've reached that, what else can you do that can help even more people in the world? So I believe there's always the potential to be able to do more than what we're doing. It may be hard to see that, but when you do this inventory of your life, it should open up the avenues of here's where I want to go. And it either is or isn't where I'm currently heading. And so you make those adjustments, you speed up the process, and you take control of both your life, but more importantly, your health. Because like I said, without your health, you got nothing. It's everything. So doesn't matter how much money you got in the bank. If you drop dead tomorrow, doesn't matter. Because I've heard this over and over from multiple people who have lost, especially when they've lost a parent. Like I said, I haven't lost a parent yet. My wife hasn't lost a parent yet. But I've heard this from many, many people. And they would say, I would give anything for one more hug from my mom or dad, right? You probably heard that. You may be thinking that. I would give anything for one more hug. And I truly believe they mean anything, which means any inheritance they got, any, vehicles or a house or whatever that they got because the person passed on and left all that stuff to them. I would venture to guess, if you believed it, most people would say, hey, that stuff's great, but I want my person back. And you can't get your person back. But if you're here today and listening to this, I want you to know you can make the changes today to make sure that you live that super long life that maybe you don't want to live, but the people that love you want you to live because they want you around. They want you around. They want you to see your grandkids or your great grandkids. They want you to be at weddings. They want you to be at high school graduations, college graduations for your family members. They want you to be at family reunions. They want all those things. The people that love you want all those things. And they're not going to happen if you don't take care of your health. Because I can try as hard as I can. Your loved ones can try as hard as they can to tell you what to do, to motivate you. But it comes down to you. You have to want it. Nobody else can change it. Nobody else can change it. You have to want it. And if you want it, then it becomes a lot easier to go get it. And while I believe that most people want it, most people don't want it to the point where they're willing to do whatever it takes. That's the level of want it that I'm talking about. And when I coach my track kids, that's what I tell them. I had 3 kids this year that between the 3 of them, they won 4 individual state titles. And at the beginning of the year, only one of them thought they could actually do it. And that was because he had already won a state title in cross country. So he knew what it took. The other 2, I think they wanted it, but they weren't sure that they could really do it. But I told them to trust me and just want it so bad that you're willing to do whatever it takes. And they did what it took, and they got it. Does that mean the person got second didn't do what it took? No. But if you want it, and you want it big enough, you're going to find a way to make it happen. And when it comes to your health, the only loser is you when you pass away. Because you pass away. Especially if you pass away early, you bring other people into the picture and they lose in the long run. So it's about making sure that you're the only loser, that you live to 100, 95, 105, so that you're the only loser. Because you saw everything. You saw everything there was to see. And so nobody's going to miss out on you because you passed away at the right time. When you pass away and I'm not talking about accidents, I'm talking about like from health reasons. Obviously, there's accidents that take people away before they're supposed to go. But if you leave this earth simply because you didn't take care of your health and you leave before the average, long before the average, you leave in your 50s, 40s even, which is becoming more common, unfortunately, for people to be dying in their 40s because of simply chronic health issues. You're not the only loser anymore. Because everybody that was a part of your life is losing in that situation. So get to where everybody wins. The only way to do that is take care of your health. You take care of your health, everybody wins. You take care of your health, everybody wins. And that's what life is about. But you got to do the inventory on yourself. You have to do it by yourself. You have to do it on yourself. You have to be honest with yourself. And then you have to make the changes and stick to them. And change is hard. Yes, it is. But change is good all the time if it's in a positive direction. So make those positive changes for yourself. Take care of your health. Do an inventory. Go out there, do some great things in this world, and be around for a long time to be able to do more than you could have ever dreamed of doing. And show some other people what's possible in this world when you take care of yourself and have a purpose and have a goal and truly live that out in every action that you take.
Thanks for checking out the All in Health and Wellness Confidence Through Health podcast. Our goal is to use health as a conduit to help you reach your goals in life.
A little lighter than me. I'm about to black out. Her grip is getting tighter on me. I think I like it deep inside. I feel the fire in me. She like the milky, see me creaming to the coffee in me. She got soul in the sway.